Alright, so I recently played through a couple Sid Meier's Civilization games. My first time exploring this series. It's kind of weird because I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but it's one of those series where you're kind of aware of it, but really not sure how. This series really went under the radar for a really long time for me, pretty much until Epic gave away 6 for free. And it's like when they did that, I was like, oh yeah, I think these games are decently popular sort of country management games. But I don't know where that knowledge would have even came from. I don't really know anyone who plays these games personally. I mean, for all I know, I may have just seen the title, seen the cover art or whatever they had on the store, and put two and two together. I feel like there's other games, and even other games with similar theming or genre to Civ that have almost a similar story for me. But yeah, this game sat in my library for a while. I eventually decided to buy Civ Revolution 2 on the Google Play Store. I remember at the time I was just kind of going through some of the games Epic gave away for free and was wondering, is this, if I was to try the series, the one I want to go in with? And with Civ, I don't know, I just saw that the Revolution sub-series was a little more simplistic, and I thought it might be a better entry point to be introduced to everything through. And it didn't seem like a game that would really be that bad on a mobile device. Funny enough, though, I was looking to get a new phone soon, and when I got that new phone, guess what wasn't compatible with it? Just months later. Granted, the game wasn't updated for a while, but still, the luck there. And they haven't updated or anything either. I noticed particularly Liberty City Stories was also no longer compatible, but they updated it, and it looks like it now is. And I think Tomb Raider may have been another one that I had that was like that. So I eventually got it working on BlueStacks. Finally got around to it, and honestly, I liked it so much that I dove right into 6, which I already had on Epic. I even got the expansions, which is the first time I've ever spent money on the Epic store, but honestly, I was kind of willing to buy it through Steam, but then it was already on sale on Epic, and I didn't want to wait for a Steam sale on it. Plus, you save a little money not having to rebuy the base game. But not only that, but I bought 3 and 4 off of GOG, which I felt, sort of doing a little basic research on the franchise, they seem like some kind of landmark-ish titles in the series, with 3 being the last 2D game and 4 being the last game to use a square grid instead of the hexagon one you see here or in Revolution 2. Yikes, I was confused there for a second. I'm probably reading through a lot of the descriptions right now. This is pre-recorded gameplay, but I thought something was up with my recording. Yikes, I am taking my time though. There's some movement, some life, some, removing of that little doubt I had, but I remember reading some Steam reviews. I don't remember about what game in particular, but the one just spoke out so well for the game, and it just said, just one more churn, just one more churn, just one more churn. And it's just one of those games, which is kind of crazy because I don't really feel like I fall into that a lot. Maybe I'm just wrong about that, but I'm pretty good, about playing a little bit each day, not really going overboard and throwing my other plans for the day off. But it happened here, and this is right after only a few months from when I played Pal World, which the same thing happened for. So it's just kind of crazy to have two of those games sort of hit so closely for me. I will say something I haven't done in a really long time, though. The last game I probably did this with was Fire Emblem Awakening, which I played through that during sort of the Fates announcement cycle before that was out. But to where I would reset my playthrough a couple times, but I, at the same time, wasn't mad or felt like I wasted my time, which is another kind of rare thing for me. I get kind of frustrated about repeating myself, but I feel like there's just, like I said, with Fire Emblem back then and with this now, there's just so many different ways you can approach it, and it feels unique each time, and it almost takes, those couple of shots for you to maybe find that play style that sort of clicks and is sort of how you want to play, I normally dive a bit more in depth than I will here about, just general gameplay and mechanics and my thoughts and that. But honestly, this is just one of those games that I feel like you really just need to experience. It's just, I don't know if it's just sort of the complexity of some of it or what, but I don't really know just how to put everything into words, It reminds me a bit of something like the board game Risk, sort of mixed with time and resource management you would get out of, like farm PGs or tycoon games, The Sims, that sort of thing. Plus, like, I feel like one thing in particular with this playthrough is that I noticed that sort of the placement of the different districts you have in your cities was probably a bit more important and something, I don't know, maybe I should have put more thought into. But I feel like there's certain aspects that I just don't know or aren't really experienced enough with to talk too much about. I wouldn't say it's overwhelming or anything because I feel like their tutorials do a good job at least setting yourself up for the lowest difficulty in my case. To sort of, I don't know, just play and see all the different things firsthand and just get adjusted to it, I guess is the way to put it. There was, definitely some things I was still learning at the end of this playthrough, and probably more stuff that I just didn't discover. And that's kind of where Revolution kind of came in a little bit too, because the placement there, I don't think there was district placement in Revolution, and it was also missing that purple skill tree. I forget what it was. I know you have your science one, but here you had that. There was also some new stuff here that was mainly added through the DLC. Like there's the governors and their roles and natural disasters. I don't know if convoys or trading were really a thing in Revolution either. I could be wrong, but that was definitely another part that I definitely feel like it was a weak point and something to improve on in, another playthrough. Like, this is definitely a game I can see myself, a little extra free time. Why not, dive in and try to do a playthrough? I guess I could see it more with the Revolution games because I feel like you can do that in one sitting. I feel like, this playthrough took like 15 hours, so you might need like a week or maybe a really good weekend. Revolution, I think I was able to do that in like 3, 4, 5 at most hours. And there's just, like I said, a ton of different ways to play. There's different, modifiers you can add to your game. Some unique scenarios, different maps. I just used the world standard size, but I didn't know there was a larger size of that. There's Pangea. There's some ones they made up. Civ Revolution had a procedural generated maps. I don't know if that's an option here too. I kind of prefer the pre-built ones though, just because it gives you a bit more of a connection to other people's experiences with the game, and sometimes you just don't know how those procedural generated maps are going to turn out. And hell, even if it turns out good, I don't know if you'd be lucky to have it again. They may have had like a seed system like Minecraft though, where you could. Oh, they deals too. I think I pretty much accepted everything except joining someone else's war. You see 5 civilizations right here. There was actually 6 in the gameplay, and actually 4 at the end. France took over Greece or Italy, whatever one that was, I don't remember. But we had Genghis Khan and Mongolia there, and I like focusing more on the science, technology tree in that, and building stuff. So my army wasn't particularly good, and they decided to take advantage of that. Luckily, I don't know if it was my difficulty level or what, but I was able to build a base infantry unit in my capital every turn, and I was essentially able to wear them down, knock out most of their army, and then they didn't have much defense left in their homeland, so I decided to absorb them and make them pay for that war. Something that I felt was kind of cool too is you have these little independent city-states, and the thing is, I was thinking about maybe trying to conquer some of them, get some more land in that, but I decided to do that so late in the game where even if I sent in a giant killer robot, it just looked like it was going to take forever to do. I needed, more of a military presence, I guess, to do it reasonably, or just have replanned everything to do that better. I will say I was able to take care of that was the wrong way to put it. I was able to sort of use the independent city-states, though, to expand into Africa later. Because if you look at the little mini-map in the bottom left, eventually India would kind of settle in the south, and for France would sort of settle in the north. And then you see there's like 2 smaller ones right there. I settled right in between them so we can have a bit of a presence, because whenever I went to not do that and just sort of go in the more open area, everyone started to hate me, which was also another reason why I sort of abandoned that invade smaller city-states plan, because once again everyone hated me at that point. Actually, Gandhi wasn't happy either that I took over Mongolia, but he got over it. We're cool now. That was actually like right before this whole session started. I think or maybe it was a little before. I don't remember if there was sort of one in between where I was just sort of expanding, repairing, and getting ready for America. Gandhi didn't go nuclear, though. I think that's more of a thing in the older games. I don't know if there's any way, like, to, trigger that, if they've sort of still included the meme in here. That might actually be where I was aware of the game. I may have seen something about the nuclear Gandhi glitch. That's probably where I heard of it, now that I think about it. Overall, I did win this game, though, with a science victory. That's kind of... I was sort of looking up tier list and that, and they said Korea was really good for science victory and just that general tree, so that's why I went with them. Oh, another thing, too, is I did eventually expand into Australia. I thought I did now, but I guess that wasn't until later. But yeah, I could have definitely done that better. We grew really slowly. We're a little short on money right here. My money fluctuated a lot. I either had a lot or not at all, I felt like. I guess right now I was more focused on America, and I was buying a lot of tiles and such. But I should have maybe bought a few of the basic... or gotten the governor who would let you build even more of some of the districts and that right away, to sort of build up that population quicker. we did eventually get going decently in Africa, but Australia, but it took a while. I think I only had that one settlement in Africa, and I had like 3 in Australia. I think I only had 2 in America. And I think from what we have now, I may have added 1 to Asia. Was never able to quite get into Europe or South America. They were pretty well occupied by the time I sort of got there. I think France actually wound up having slightly more settlements than me, though, too. I don't think the Incas were that far behind either. And my Revolution gameplay before this, I think I picked... Did I pick Julius Caesar or someone? I think that was like a same thing where he was a good beginner-friendly. I might be remembering that wrong. I kind of get some of those sort of mixed up, sort of the like ancient Greece, Rome, history and figures kind of mixed up. I think it was one of them, though. There I will say I was a little more balanced with sort of my science tree and my military, because I did pretty much take over just about everything. I think I left one little colony open just to sort of keep building and see if I can complete the entire science tree, which I kind of did here too. Try to finish as much of that as I could. I was kind of even considering at the end, because I think by default does the game end at 2050? And I was just constructing a bunch of giant killer robots and considering just starting a war, particularly with France, just for the hell of it, just to see how that would play out. See if my theory about maybe just having multiple of, what was seemingly the best military unit would sort of help and a war go a little quicker, / how some of the other places would feel about that. Because, like I said, I know France was kind of picky. They weren't liking when my towns weren't pretty enough when I was settling too close. So, but yeah, if this seems like your kind of thing, I would definitely check it out. I wouldn't let just sort of everything going on intimidate you or anything. Just, I don't know, view the tutorial, do a nice chill playthrough on an easy difficulty, even if you sort of want that bigger challenge. And just sort of, I don't know, learn the mechanics in that as you go along, and just different scenarios come up that need different strategies and mechanics, I suppose. I'm definitely looking forward to coming back to these games eventually. I'm going to take a bit of a break now, though, and I guess this video might actually be timely, because I was planning to wrap things up today and put it out on YouTube, but I saw rumors that Civ 7 might actually be announced like really soon. Right now is the Summer Game Fest 2024, so a lot of announcements going on, and I just saw that pop up today. Just complete coincidence, kind of funny and maybe great timing. I don't know for sure if it's going to happen yet or not, or where we're at. I think they still support 6, but I don't know if they've done a major expansion in a while. So we'll see. I did see some people weren't thrilled with the art style here, which I can kind of see why. The older games look like they take a more realistic approach. So I feel like coming off of Revolution, though, this is almost like an evolution or an in-between of that, So yeah, I kind of wonder where they'll go with that too, if that was, that big of a deal. Or just what other things they can add or improve upon. Like I said, I don't feel like I'm the most qualified to really say, though. But I think it could be an interesting topic to see what other people have to say.